Inside the luminescent halls of the Galactic Council, alien delegates witness an unprecedented event. Earth's warships appear on the Council's edge, their silent presence shattering centuries of uneasy peace. Confusion and dread ripple through the room as a quiet human voice over comm channels hints at a deeper plan. This arrival marks the first ripple in a galactic power shift. The chamber hummed, an endless spiral of translucent platforms stacked like a cosmic ziggurat. 86 species watched the starfield outside with a calm they did not feel. The Galactic Council, their bastion of diplomacy, now bore witness to an anomaly none had predicted. The deep space monitors flickered with an image so raw and alive. It shattered centuries of order. A cluster of massive vessels, Earth's warships, appeared in the void, unannounced, unbidden, unlike any fleet ever assembled or welcomed. They drifted without the usual glare of signature emissions. No massive reactor glow, no flashing navigation beacons, just dead silence, a void wrapped in black and grey steel that defied the Council's predictive scans. Is this some kind of prelude to war? Hissed the Velkan delegate, a mass of shimmering tendrils quivering with suppressed panic. No protocols, no warnings. They violate every convention. Or they're bluffing, hissed another from the crystalline Umvek. Primitive species cannot wield such stealth technology. It's an illusion, a psyop. Yet the monitors confirmed it. Earth's vessels were real, cloaked with new tech, quantum nanoshielding woven into the hull's surface, deflecting all sensor scans and disrupting gravitational signature detection, a whisper of technomagics buried in cold science. From the human side, Commander Sarah Wren sat in her command chair aboard USS Resolute, her eyes steady, pulse measured. The room around her buzzed with tension, the air thick with anticipation. On the bridge, her voice cut through the sterile hum. Galactic Council. This is Earth. We arrive not as subjects but as sovereigns. We bring no threats, but we accept no patronage. A beat of silence. Then the Council's chamber fell utterly mute, as if the words had sucked the air from the cosmos itself. The tension stretched. The Velkan whispered, "What are they?" Saying, "What do they want?" The Umvek chittered nervously. "They speak like conquerors or gods." Sarah's gaze hardened. "You've underestimated Earth for too long. We are the product of a death world, a crucible of survival and ruthless adaptation. We evolved beneath red suns, on fractured continents, tested by extinction itself." She pressed a hand to the console. A countdown appeared on the human side, T-002. The chamber grew colder, shadows deepened. Aliens shifted in their seats. This was no ordinary arrival. The silence that followed was heavy, pregnant with dread and disbelief. Sarah's final words cut through the comm channels. "This is not a negotiation, it is your reckoning." The screen flickered, then went black. Silence filled the room. Inside, the grand chamber, the air was thick with a tension that had nothing to do with the usual political grandstanding. The monitors, once vivid with Earth's imposing fleet, now showed only the empty void where they had hovered moments ago. The silence was worse than any noise, like the calm before a cosmic storm. The Velkan delegate paced nervously, their tendrils twitching. They vanished. No fleet remains in sensor range. "It's not a disappearance," the Umvek whispered. "It's stealth technology far beyond what we've catalogued. That cloak was no mere shimmer or distortion field. It's nanotech." Beside them, the crystalline delegate from Sariel bent closer to their console, eyes reflecting fragmented star maps. If what the humans claim is true, that they are survivors of a death world, then their evolution forged them into predators unlike any we imagined. Their silence isn't weakness, it's a predator's patience. On Earth's flagship bridge, Commander Sarah Wren studied the alien communications carefully. Their panic was audible even through the comm delay. She activated the private channel to Dr. Kaito Nguyen, the chief scientist. "Kaito," she said quietly, "the Council is unraveling faster than predicted." Dr. Nguyen's face appeared on the holo. "Our cloaking protocols are working better than simulations. The quantum nanoshielding scrambles their gravimetric sensors, disrupts their active scans. They can't pin us down. Do they understand the stakes?" Sarah asked. "Not yet," Kaito replied, voice grave. "They only see a primitive species violating galactic protocol. They don't realize how far we've come. Earth's technological leap isn't just military, it's cultural, evolutionary. We've harnessed the trauma of extinction itself." Back in the Council, whispers grew into murmurs, then urgent debates. The ancient ambassador from the Jatari, known for her stoic wisdom, rose slowly. "They say Earth comes not as subjects, but as sovereigns," she said, voice like crushed crystal. "But sovereignty is won, not claimed. Have we underestimated their will to survive, to dominate? Is this arrival a warning or a prelude to conquest?" A junior delegate, green-skinned and trembling, blurted out, "They have technology no one understands. Their EMP pulse last cycle destroyed 2 of our scouts without warning. How could they have weaponized such a thing without detection?" "Because," the Sriel delegate replied, "their science is born from desperation. The death world is a crucible. They turned desperation into an art form." A hushed panic spread as the implications sank in. Aliens with eons of experience watching, a species born from constant survival, whose very existence was a testament to brutal adaptation. And now, Earth was here, unyielding and silent. Commander Sarah's voice cut through the comm channels again, calm but resolute. "We don't come to beg. We come to reset the balance. The galaxy has mistaken our silence for submission. It will not make that mistake twice." The chamber's noise faltered, replaced by a mounting dread that gnawed at the delegate's composure. "Why are they like this?" muttered the Umvek, more to themselves than anyone else. "Because they survived the impossible," the Velkan answered, "and they are coming for us all." The low hum of the Resolute's engines was a constant reminder of the fragile boundary between safety and oblivion. Commander Sarah Enren stood at the observation window, watching the swirling void beyond their cloaked perimeter. Beside her, Dr. Kaito Nguyen adjusted the holodisplay, bringing up ancient Earth imagery. Volcanic wastelands, acid rainstorms, scorched deserts where nothing lived but the relentless wind. "This is where we came from," Kaito said softly. "A death world in the truest sense. We survived, or we didn't exist." Sarah nodded, her gaze distant. "Every generation grew stronger, more adaptable. The air we breathe, the gravity we endure, hostile to every other species in the galaxy." In the Galactic Council chamber, the alien delegates absorbed every word transmitted from Earth's broadcast. The images and stories were a shock to their collective psyche. The Umvek delegate, normally composed and analytical, visibly recoiled. How can they claim survival against such odds? Their world should have been sterilized long ago, the Umvek whispered. The Velkan's tendrils twitched in a mixture of fear and fascination. This explains their resilience, their ruthlessness. A species forged in apocalypse is a species without mercy. Dr. Nguyen switched to tactical footage. Simulations of human units navigating collapsing cities, extreme weather and predator attacks. The soldiers adapted, learning from every failure, their nanotech armor repairing damage instantly, their neural implants predicting enemy movement. "They don't just survive," Kaito said. "They evolve in real time. Their technology is an extension of their biology, a seamless fusion born of necessity." Back aboard the Resolute, a young soldier named Tessa Calder watched the footage on a personal tablet, her fingers trembling. They think we're monsters. Sarah's voice crackled over the comm. We are what the galaxy needed but feared. Relentless, unpredictable, unbreakable. The Alien Council debated heatedly. The Sriel ambassador's crystalline voice rang out. We have lived in comfort, protected by our knowledge and alliances. But Earth's survival means pain, chaos, a power born from suffering none of us dared endure. A hush fell over the chamber. The weight of humanity's history pressed on every species present, forcing a reckoning with their own fragility. The Council's eldest member, the Jatari Elder, sighed. Perhaps the galaxy has mistaken evolution for civility. Earth's past is a mirror reflecting our complacency and hubris. In the quiet of the observation deck, Sarah whispered, almost to herself, We carry death in our blood, but we offer the future. The silence that followed was thick with understanding and fear. The chamber's lighting dimmed as the holographic archives flickered to life, projecting images centuries old yet searingly relevant. Alien delegates leaned forward, their expressions a mix of shock and disbelief. The Council's historian, a wiry figure from the Jegzari system, narrated in a voice heavy with regret. Over 300 galactic cycles ago, the Earth colony was abandoned by the Council. Deemed too volatile, too unpredictable, the betrayal was deliberate, a calculated exile to a death world we presumed would break them. The Velkan delegates' tendrils stiffened. Exile? You condemned an entire species to extinction. The historian nodded. The Council believed Earth would be humanity's tomb, a lesson to all primitive species, but they underestimated what death breeds. On Earth's command deck, Sarah clenched her fists, staring at the star map showing the coordinates of the old colony worlds, now lost to time and silence. On Earth's command deck, Sarah clenched her fists, staring at the star map showing the coordinates of the old colony worlds, now lost to time and silence. They wrote us off, left us to die so they could preserve their own peace. Dr. Nguyen's voice cracked through the comm, and in doing so they forged us into a force that would return, not begging for mercy, but demanding justice. In the Council chamber, whispers turned to open accusation. The Umvek delegates' crystalline fingers drummed anxiously. This betrayal, was it known among your people before arrival? Sarah's voice was cold, measured. It is why we are here, because history is written by survivors, not by those who abandon their kin. A younger alien delegate from the Corvian sector broke down, tears leaking from multifaceted eyes. We created a monster, a species born from our own cowardice and neglect. The Jatari Elder shook their heads slowly. The Council's unity shatters under the weight of its sins. Earth's arrival is not just a challenge, it is a reckoning. Sarah activated a hidden comm channel, voice low but unwavering. This isn't vengeance for vengeance's sake. It is the price of betrayal paid in full. The chamber darkened further as the Council members retreated into silence, haunted by their role in the birth of the very force now standing before them. Unyielding, silent, and unstoppable. The laboratory aboard USS Resolute was a cathedral of cold steel and glowing screens, alive with the quiet pulse of cutting-edge technology. Dr. Kaito Nguyen stood before a cluster of nanotech swarms suspended in containment fields, their iridescent forms shifting and coalescing in patterns too complex for casual observation. Quantum nanoshielding, Kaito explained to Commander Sarah Enren and the assembled science officers. Each nanobot is programmed to manipulate gravitational fields on a quantum scale, effectively bending the space around our ships. This disrupts enemy sensors by scrambling their gravimetric and electromagnetic signatures simultaneously. Sarah nodded, absorbing the gravity of the revelation. So our vessels appear and disappear at will, ghosts in the void. Exactly, Kaito said. The nanobots also form a dynamic EMP barrier. Instead of a single pulse, it's a constant adaptive field that can disable enemy electronics within a certain radius without revealing our position. The aliens watching from the Galactic Council received the data packets with growing alarm. The Vex delegate paced restlessly. This technology surpasses even our most advanced cloaking devices. How could a supposedly primitive species develop such sophistication without detection? The Velkan delegate's tendrils flickered with unease. It's not just tech, it's a paradigm shift. Earth has integrated biology and machine at a level we barely comprehend. Back on the Resolute, the human tactical officer, Lieutenant Malik, tapped the console. The adaptive cloaking also alters gravitational microfields around the hull. It's like we're bending reality itself. To evade detection and incoming fire, a sudden alarm sounded, but Sarah silenced it with a gesture. This is not the time for false panic. Kaito's eyes gleamed with a mix of pride and wariness. We've weaponized survival itself, but it comes at a cost. Our nanotech demands immense energy and constant recalibration. One failure, and we're exposed. In the council chamber, voices rose in tension. The Surreal ambassador's crystalline voice cut through the murmur. We must consider Earth's arrival not as a curiosity, but a threat. Their mastery of such technology gives them an advantage that could upend the delicate balance of power. The Jatari elder sighed, voice heavy with ancient weariness. We face a species whose tools are forged from survival's harshest fires. Our old strategies may no longer hold. Sarah's voice came through the comm channels, calm, yet commanding. We do not seek conflict, but we will not be subdued. This is the new reality, adapt or fall. The chamber's delegates exchanged uneasy glances, the seeds of fear and respect planting themselves deep in the fertile soil of galactic politics. Earth's quiet revolution had begun. The void around the Resolute rippled with tension as the alien fleets moved into formation, encircling Earth's silent behemoths like predators closing on a wounded prey. The vast armadas gleamed under distant stars, their weapons primed, eyes fixed on the unseen threat cloaked in shadows. Inside the human warship, the atmosphere was taut but focused. Soldiers adjusted their nanotech armor, muscles honed by endless drills and battles fought on death worlds far harsher than this cold vacuum. Tessa Calder, now seasoned beyond her years, checked her pulse while loading her plasma rifle, calm, steady, ready. Breach protocols active, the tactical officer announced. Enemy fleets at 20,000 kilometers. They'll try to break our cloak within the hour. Commander Sarah and Wren's voice was a steady anchor. Maintain formation. Do not engage unless fired upon. Their hesitation is our advantage. Outside, the alien vessels launched reconnaissance drones, piercing the cloaking fields with bursts of gravitic pulses designed to disrupt the nanoshields. One drone shattered in a burst of EMP, its sensors fried instantly. The council's delegates watched, anxiously, their voices tight with panic. They withstand our best efforts. Their technology defies our understanding. How do they do it? Back on Resolute, Dr. Nguyen monitored nanobot stability, sweat beading on his brow. The swarm adapts faster than we predicted. Every disruption is met with a countermeasure in milliseconds. Suddenly, the comm channel crackled. Unidentified vessel detected in our perimeter, came the alien fleet commander's voice, edged with urgency. Tessa tightened her grip, heart pounding. We're not just surviving this siege, she whispered to herself. We're rewriting the rules. The hours stretched into a grueling dance of cat and mouse. Alien projectiles fizzled harmlessly against shifting gravitational fields. Human countermeasures responded with precision strikes disabling enemy drones. But every victory came at a cost. Nanobot energy reserves drained, soldiers pushed to their limits, nerves fraying. In the quiet moments, Sarah's voice broke the tension. Remember who we are. This siege is not our end. It is our proving ground. Alien delegates in the council chamber, once smug and confident, now broke down in fractured whispers of fear and disbelief. The Death World survivors, silent, unyielding, held their ground. The siege tightened, but humanity's resolve tightened tighter. The galaxy was beginning to understand. Underestimating Earth was a mistake no one could afford. The bridge of the Resolute thrummed with tension as the countdown clock ticked toward zero. Commander Sarah Naren stood rigid, eyes locked on the tactical display, pulsing with alien ships, tightening their grip like a noose. Around her, the crew moved with practiced efficiency, each aware of the fragile line between victory and annihilation. 10 seconds to breach, the tactical officer intoned. Dr. Nguyen adjusted the settings on the quantum nanoshielding array, sweat tracing lines down his temples. Nanobots are holding, but energy reserves are critically low. If this breach succeeds, we lose the cloak and every advantage with it. Sarah's jaw clenched. We don't have the luxury of hesitation. In the council chamber, the atmosphere crackled with anticipation. The alien delegates had prepared for a swift conquest, expecting Earth's defense to crumble under their coordinated assault. Instead, they faced silence, patience, and an unyielding fortress. The Umvec delegate whispered in disbelief, "They do not respond with fire. Their silence is a weapon more deadly than plasma." A sudden jolt rocked the Resolute as the first wave of enemy drones struck the outer hull. Alarms blared, but were quickly suppressed as nanobots swarmed to repair damage almost before it appeared. Shield integrity at 98%, the tactical officer reported. The countdown hit zero. "Now," Sarah commanded. A pulse of energy, subtle but devastating, rippled from the Resolute. The nanobot swarm unleashed a focused EMP field that incapacitated enemy systems within range, their ships flickering like dying stars. At the same moment, a gravity distortion wave bent the light around Earth's fleet, making them appear to vanish, then reappear in unexpected vectors, striking with surgical precision. Alien weapons misfired, their advanced targeting scrambled by Earth's adaptive fields. "Retreat! Retreat!" bellowed the Velkan fleet commander, panic cracking, his usually cold voice. But the Resolute held position. Sarah's voice was calm, steady, and commanding. "This is our message. We are not your prey." The council chamber erupted into chaos, delegates shouting, begging for answers, grappling with a truth that shattered their illusions. The silence that followed was no longer empty. It was a deafening declaration. Earth had arrived, unbroken, unyielding, and the galaxy would never forget the moment silence filled the room. The aftermath of the failed assault hung heavy over the Galactic Council chamber, like a thick, suffocating fog. Delegates who had once whispered disdainfully about Earth now sat in stunned silence, their usual arrogance replaced by a raw, gnawing fear. The Velkan ambassador's tendrils trembled as he addressed the assembly. "We underestimated them. Their resilience is not born of mere technology, but of an unyielding will forged in death itself." In the quiet halls of the council, rumors spread like wildfire. Earth's fleet was not merely surviving, it was evolving tactics mid-battle, predicting moves with uncanny precision, its soldiers seemingly impervious to fear or fatigue. Back aboard the Resolute, Commander Sarah Naren stood over a holographic map displaying the Council's member worlds. "They see us as a threat. They will strike again." Dr. Kaito Nguyen nodded grimly. "They'll attempt to dismantle what they cannot control, but each attack only makes us stronger." Tessa Calder ran a diagnostic on her nanotech armor, watching it regenerate microfractures in real time. "We're becoming legends to them, monsters born from their mistakes." A sudden comm alert interrupted the quiet. Sarah's voice was steady as she answered, "This is Commander N. The voice on the other end was distorted, but unmistakably human. "We've intercepted a distress signal from one of the old colonies, Korath Prime. They've been attacked." Sarah's eyes narrowed. "Prepare a response team. We're going back to the Death Worlds." In the council chamber, the Srael ambassador's crystalline voice resonated with newfound respect. "Earth does not seek conquest out of greed or ambition. They fight because they must." The room fell into a heavy silence once more, and somewhere, in the cold void beyond the stars, humanity's whispered promise echoed. Survival was only the beginning. ChatGPT said the jagged horizon of Korath Prime stretched endlessly beneath a blood-red sky, its scarred surface a testament to centuries of relentless cataclysms. The air hung thick with ash and chemical storms, corrosive winds clawing at the ragged outposts left by forgotten settlers. Commander Sarah N.'s boots crunched against the shattered glass and twisted metal as she led the response team through the ruins. "Eyes sharp," she ordered. "The attackers won't wait for us to regroup." Beside her, Tessa Calder adjusted her nanotech armor's adaptive shielding, the microfractures glowing faintly as they repaired with each step. "This place hasn't seen mercy in a millennium." Dr. Nguyen scanned the remains of a destroyed settlement pod, his fingers trembling as he activated a data recovery device. "They're after something buried beneath the surface, old tech, or perhaps knowledge the Council once buried." Suddenly, a low rumble vibrated beneath their feet. Dust and debris tumbled from the jagged cliffs surrounding them. "Gravitic. Destabilizers," Tessa hissed. "They're trying to collapse the area." Alien drones swarmed from the shadows, their sleek forms armed with pulse disruptors and plasma cannons. The response team dove into cover as energy blasts scorched the earth. "Return fire," Sarah shouted, unleashing a volley from her plasma rifle. The adaptive nanotech armor absorbed and dispersed the impact, allowing her to advance with lethal precision. As the firefight escalated, Sarah caught sight of a figure darting toward a subterranean hatch, a scientist clutching a data crystal. "Hold that hatch," Sarah ordered, sprinting forward. The alien forces surged, but humanity's soldiers, hardened by their own death worlds, held the line with unyielding resolve. Nanobots swarmed to repair wounds and equipment even as the battle raged. Inside the hatch, the scientist keyed a sequence into an ancient console, eyes wide with urgency. This data could change everything: the true history of Earth's exile and the Council's betrayal. Outside, the clash intensified. Sarah's voice crackled over comm. "We fight not just for survival, but for the truth buried beneath this poisoned soil." The ground trembled again, dust choking the air, as Korath Prime's ancient secrets threatened to be lost forever. Unless humanity could seize the moment and turn the tide of history. The subterranean chamber beneath Korath Prime was a labyrinth of rusted conduits and shattered relics. Bathed in the cold glow of emergency lighting, Dr. Kaito Nguyen's hands trembled as he decrypted the data crystal, lines of code scrolling faster than the eye could follow. "This isn't just information," Kaito said, voice low and reverent. "It's a confession." The Council deliberately erased records, hiding the true scale of Earth's exile and the experiments conducted on our ancestors. Commander Sarah N.'s eyes narrowed. "They weaponized us, created death-world conditions knowing it would either destroy us or forge us into living weapons." A chorus of footsteps echoed behind them. Tessa Calder, scanning the chamber for threats, spotted movement in the shadows. "Contact!" she shouted as alien operatives emerged, plasma rifles raised. A fierce firefight erupted amidst the relics. Nanotech armor glowed under the relentless pulse of energy blasts, wounds knitting closed as soldiers pressed forward. Kaito secured the crystal in a protective case. "We have what we came for. This truth will change everything." Sarah signaled the retreat. "Extraction team, on me. We leave with the evidence." and with their understanding that humanity's silence is not submission. Back on the Resolute, as the ship powered its engines for warp, Sarah's voice resonated through the fleet's comm channels. The Council's betrayal is exposed. We carry their sins, but also the power to demand justice. The Galactic Council received the broadcast. In stunned silence, the Jatari elder spoke gravely. Their fury is justified. We must face the consequences of our past. In the void between stars, Earth's fleet accelerated, not just to survive, but to reclaim their place in the galaxy, armed with truth and unbreakable resolve. The Resolute drifted silently through the void, its sleek hull scarred but unyielding, a testament to humanity's unbreakable will. Commander Sarah and Wren stood on the bridge, eyes fixed on the holographic projection of the Galactic Council, now fractured and divided by the Revelation's broadcast from Korath Prime. The Council underestimated how deep their betrayal runs, Sarah said softly. But we are no longer the outcasts. Dr. Nguyen approached, a rare smile breaking through his fatigue. Our nanotech and bio-integration are advancing faster than any Council member predicted. We've turned exile into evolution. Tessa, Okalda, now a veteran warrior, reviewed tactical schematics. Their fleets are reorganizing. We must be ready for anything. Suddenly the comm crackled to life. An unexpected voice, alien yet weary, filled the room. Earth, we have watched. We feared you, but now we see your truth. The voice belonged to the Jatari elder, their presence broadcast across the fleet. We offer parley, not surrender, but a chance to rebuild trust. Sarah's gaze hardened. Trust must be earned. We will listen, but we will not forget. The Galactic Council sent envoys to Earth's fleet, the first true diplomatic exchange in centuries. Negotiations were tense, every word weighed with history's burden. In private moments, Sarah reflected on the cost of survival. The friends lost, the battles fought, and the silence that once filled the room. But now that silence was shattered. Humanity had arrived, not just as survivors or warriors, but as arbiters of their destiny. The future was uncertain, but the promise was clear. Earth would never be forgotten again. The grand hall of the Galactic Council was transformed, its towering. Pillars now draped with the banners of Earth, simple, resolute symbols amid the ornate alien sigils. The atmosphere was thick with tension and tentative hope as delegates from dozens of species filled the vast chamber, their whispers merging into a low hum of uncertainty. Commander Sarah and Wren stood at the center dais, flanked by Dr. Kaito, Nguyen and Lieutenant Tessa Calder. The journey that had begun in shadows and silence had brought them here, to the heart of galactic power. Her voice, clear and unwavering, broke the charged silence. Today, Earth does not stand as an exile or an outcast, Sarah declared. We stand as a reminder of survival against betrayal, of resilience born from the harshest crucible the galaxy has ever known. Murmurs rippled through the crowd, some skeptical, others awed. The Jatari elder, who had once spoken of ancient weariness, now nodded solemnly. Your people have forced us to confront our failures, and for that the Council must evolve. Dr. Nguyen stepped forward, projecting data streams that illustrated humanity's unique synthesis of biology and technology. Our nanotech, our quantum shields, our neural symbiosis with machines, these are not merely tools of war, but instruments of survival and adaptation. Lieutenant Calder recounted harrowing tales from Korath Prime, the death world where Earth's exile had been meant to end them. We faced destruction, abandonment, and betrayal, but from the ashes, we forged a future, not just for ourselves, but for all who have been forgotten or cast aside. An alien delegate from the Velkarn sector rose, his voice edged with grudging respect. Your people embody a force we have never seen, unyielding will fused with relentless innovation. Suddenly the chamber's lights dimmed, and a holographic display unfolded above them. It showed footage from deep space. Earth's fleet, moving in silent, precise formation, nanobots repairing wounds faster than any alien tech. Soldiers adapting instantly to the most lethal environments. Sarah's voice resonated over the projection. We come not to conquer, but to coexist, to forge alliances based on respect, truth, and shared survival. The council was silent again, this time with something new, possibility. A fragile consensus emerged. Proposals were drafted. Reparations for Earth's exile, collaboration on technology and exploration, and a vow to dismantle the old secrets that had bred mistrust and betrayal. Yet, beneath the diplomacy, there was a shared understanding. The galaxy had changed irrevocably. The primitive outcast had become a beacon, and the future would be written by those willing to embrace that truth. As the session closed, Sarah looked out across the assembly. The silence that had once filled the room was gone, replaced by cautious voices and the stirring of new hope. Outside the chamber, Earth's fleet glided through the starlit void, no longer cloaked in shadows, but heralded as a force born from fire and silence, ready to shape the galaxy's destiny. In that moment, humanity's journey from betrayal to acceptance reached a pivotal dawn. The scars of the past remained, but they were the foundation of a future where Earth would never again be silenced. And as the first light of a new galactic era touched the stars, one truth echoed through every soul present: survival was only the beginning.